Hi, I'm Faith Garita and this is my tutorial. In this video, I'm teaching you how to build a witch cottage in The Sims 4. First, I started off with making the shape of the house. Here I'm building it room by room and then taking down the walls on the inside. You can see that I was messing around with the shape of it, trying to find the shape of the house that I liked. And I had reference photos of cottages, I'll put them up now, that I knew I wanted to take inspiration from. I knew I wanted a very fairy tale kind of foresty look, as well as a sunroom and a chimney. I knew I wanted those two features in the house. Throughout the build, I made a lot of mistakes, but that's okay because eventually you find out what works and what doesn't work. It's really just trial and error when you build a house. I really had trouble with the roofing, especially. Throughout the build, my house takes a lot of shapes, different shapes, and that's okay because eventually it turns into the product that I wanted and the cottage I saw in my head when I was building it. I kind of made a mistake here because I knew I wanted it 2 stories, but I didn't know how to make the roof work. So here I just deleted it all and then made it 1 story, which was a mistake. You'll see later it turns into a 2 story again. Here I'm making kind of like the front room, the foyer, and then soon it'll have a porch. I liked the curved roofs, kind of had this Tudor style I liked. The roofing was probably the hardest part in this whole build, and you can see that as I go back and forth on it. Here you can see the sunroof I'm making for my sunroom. In The Sims, subtlety is not used very often, so when you want to make something small and quiet, you have to try very hard to get it the way that you want. So you can see I can't make just one small portion of the room a skylight, so I had to use 4 different roofs to make it. And now you can see me making the faux chimney, which I used half walls at the top to make it a little bit shorter. And I'm lifting it onto a foundation. Pause. Here in the video, I had been filming for about like 3 hours. When I went to check up on my video recording, it said that it was corrupted. So I had 3 hours worth of my house build and I had got none of it on camera. So that was very upsetting. I checked the recording right at the end of the build, so most of the house is done, but I'll catch you up to speed of what I did. So where we left off, the house was only 1 story, as I said, but then I turned it into a 2 story because I realized that there wasn't enough room for a bedroom. So I had to make like an upstairs loft. I spent very long time working on the foliage, as well as the windows and the exterior, adding vines and trees and a front and back patio, as well as a backyard. The upstairs loft area, which is kind of like an attic, is where our protagonist, Eileen, that's the sim that's gonna live in the house, she sleeps up there. That's her bedroom. It'll come up later in the video. But in the backyard, I made a greenhouse for Eileen's witchy herbs or for potions, as well as other outdoor activities such as a picnic. Mostly all the other rooms were completed, including the bathroom, master bedroom, dining room, kitchen, and living room. The kitchen is lined with really old appliances to match the aesthetic I wanted. Very rustic and old and fairy tale kind of aesthetic. And I stuck with a very much brown and green and purple color palette throughout the house. It's to match Eileen's character and personality because in my head is very nature oriented. That's how I see her. I think that's most of the house. So, back up to speed now. Congratulations. Let's continue with the build. This is the only footage I have of decorating the house. And we start off on the sunroom, which I think is one of the best rooms in the entire house. It's very sunny. It's meant for outdoor activities, not really for breakfast. There's a chest table, there's a bookcase, and a couple of paintings. You can see me struggling to find a rug. I really jump from room to room. based on what I like to decorate. So here we're decorating the foyer now. We just jumped. I really move from room to room based on what I'm inspired by the objects. And here you see me struggling with them to find one that's nice for this little area. And I'm putting up light fixtures and sconces. I was really trying to find something to put in that back corner. I wasn't sure if I wanted a desk or not, because Eileen already had a desk in her room, which I thought was really nice and matched the theme. You could see plants all over the house because I thought she'd really like them. This is when I started decorating the kitchen. I like to put a lot of clutter everywhere. I think that makes a build more homey and lived in. You could see throughout the house, I fill it with kind of clutter items. Although it is more expensive when you add all these clutter items in them, I think it makes a house more professional and more cozy and homey, and it just adds personality to the house. And I think that is a tip that I have to other builders, that clutter items do make a house like 10 times better. And that's it. That's the end of the build, really. Here's Eileen. She's so pretty. I love her. I made her myself. You can see her bedroom. I added a bunch of decor, hanging plants, and you can see her color palette really comes out here. A lot of green, a lot of browns, not that much purple, but it's more of in the potions. Here you can see her wand and her magic ball and her spices for her potions and her cauldron. This is her desk, lots of plants everywhere, all over the place. I like to think she's a painter. And this brings us to the downstairs, which you really didn't miss that much of, so I'm just gonna speed run it. So this is the living room, backyard, picnic area, which I spent so much time on, and it was so cute, but she rudely refused to sit down and take a picture in for some reason. Greenhouse, sunroom, and the kitchen that she almost killed herself in. And back up to her bedroom. That was it. This is the end of the build. This was my tutorial on how to make a witchy cottage in The Sims 4. Thank you for watching. Bye.